sun gets start ain't going down. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, no, star ain't going down. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, no, no.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, Just Us TV. Thank you guys for stopping by. You know I always appreciate you showing me love. So as you guys can see, we're gonna get right into it. This video is about the Katt Williams interview on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, I got all the clips. I got all the juice. Even a clip from Ice Cube. When he responds, I'm going to post it at the end. You guys know how I do. I'm going to post it at the end. Some of the stuff I'm going to post at the end. Most of the replies I'm going to post at the end. But throughout the video, I'm going to show the stuff that he was saying. Of course, you guys know I'm going to speed it up a little bit just for so they won't flag me and, you know, copyright, you know, all that stuff. I'm going to speed up the content a little bit, you know, the videos a little bit so that it won't conflict. But baby, child, that interview was 2 hours and 46 minutes. 2 hours and 46 minutes. I was just like, oh my gosh, 2 hours and 46 minutes. And it was a key. When I tell you that video was funny, that interview was so funny. It had me cracking up the whole time. I was like, ooh, child. Katt Williams gonna need some, or, you know, he gonna need a witness protection program because everybody coming for him. The amount of strays that people was catching left and right in this interview, child, he gonna need an order of protection. It was so good. The whole video, there was a few dead spots, but the majority of the video was hilarious. Oh my goodness. I watched it. So you don't have to watch it, or maybe you do want to watch it. I do implore you guys to go over there to, you know, Club Shay Shay and watch the video. At least watch some of the interview. The first 30 minutes, you're going to be cracking up. It goes a little bit downhill as he talks about some things like that. But the first 30 minutes, I implore you to watch the first 30 minutes at least. If you don't watch anything else, watch the first 30 minutes because it was funny. Hilarious. Hella funny. So Katt Williams, this interview, it may not all have been true, but it was really funny. And you got to take some of the stuff that he said with a grain of salt, because I was just like, as I was listening to the video, some of the stuff I was just like, that doesn't sound plausible, but I mean, it is what it is. You know, take piece of it how you want to piece it out. But you could tell in the interview that he still has a little bit of animosity towards some of these comedians, and that, you know, a little bit of resentment for, I don't know, career events or whatever. But you could tell that he was still holding on to something, but he was roasting them all. Everybody got it. You name it, he got it. Let's talk about it. So he touched on Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, Tiffany Hadish, Kevin Hart, Ludacris, Michael Blackson, Faison Love, Wanda Smith, that interview with Wanda Smith, and I'm gonna post it at the end as well, and many more. He talked about Mel Moore. He talked about many more. You name it, he talked about it. Mark Curry, like, he talked about a whole bunch of comedians. He even mentioned some of the up and coming comedians, and the fact that, you know, that he don't got no smoke with them. He really likes them all. You name them, he loves them. It's all good. He really has more smoke with people that he has been in, like, business with, people who've been in business since he, you know, been in the comedian game since he's been in the comedian game. But that's neither here nor there. You gotta watch it. And some of the videos I posted, I think I have a few. I have a bunch, actually. I have a bunch. So he discussed Kevin Hart being an industry plant, and Kevin Hart responded. And I don't remember. I think I caught it, but I can't remember. If I did, I'll post it. And he was saying stuff like, how could he be on two coasts at once? And, you know, growing up here and living here and making money here, and then you growing up in LA and doing the same thing. Like, it doesn't pan. Like, it's not making sense. He discussed Ricky Smiley and him going after the same parts, and him changing roles in Friday After Next and his character and the stuff that he brought to it. And Ice Cube also made a response and he touched on those things. And he clears up a few discrepancies that, you know, Katt says, I'm gonna play it at the end. And then, and how he made the part his own. He also discussed Steve Harvey stealing some stuff and what's his name? What's this guy's name? Cedric the Entertainer stealing some stuff, and the fact that Cedric the Entertainer is not a real entertainer. He can't sing, he can't dance, he can't do nothing. Child, everybody was catching it. He talked about Ludacris' wife and her face and how she looked, and he talked about so many things. That's why I implore you guys to go and watch it. Regardless of the clips that I post in here, some of the stuff is more funnier than that. Anything you could think of, he discussed, and he's very articulate, very well spoken. You could tell he's smart. You could tell he reads books. He talks about his family life. Yeah, he discusses his family life and you know how many children he has. And I did not know that homeboy got 10 kids. I didn't know he had 10 kids. It's like 5 boys and 5 girls or something like that. And I was just like, whoa, child. I didn't even know that he had. I didn't even know he had kids, to be honest. I didn't know. That kind of caught me off guard. I was just like, he got kids? 10 kids at that? All right, boy. His little butt was getting it in. He talked about his submissive dad, and the fact that, you know, he got into many fights with him. They were Jehovah's Witness and highly religious, and he was not so much, but he was definitely into, you know, different religions, and he learned about different religions and cultures by immersing himself within those cultures, and that was really nice to know. He was talking about Louis Farrakhan, and you know that he calls him son. He was discussing what else did he discuss? The fact that he was 13 when he moved away from his home, from Ohio to Florida. And I'm just like, yo, 13, imagine moving away, like moving states at 13 years old. Imagine how scary it was. He was talking about the fact that he had $2,500 in his pocket when he did move, and him and his dog and his $2,500. The fact that he always had money because he was always making money. The fact that he won he got a full scholarship to a university, and he kind of like turned it down because he said when he went in there, they was all in lab coats, and he thought he was not educated enough to be in that league. He discussed the fact that homeboy was driving at 12 years old. Child, we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. He discussed the fact that this dude read 3,000 books a year from like 7, I think he said from 7 to 8 years old. He was reading nonfiction books, but he would read like 3,000 books a year. And I'm just like, yeah, his vocabulary is very extensive. He does use big words, and he uses them correctly. But I'm just like, that's a little bit, you know, whatever. It's a little bit, I don't know, Katt. I just think. So he discussed that. He discussed the fact that he read the encyclopedia at the age of, from 6 to 7, he read the whole encyclopedia. Now, I tried to read the encyclopedia when I was around that age too, and I was just like, child, I am not. I think I got like 2 paragraphs in, and I was just like, oh, absolutely not. And the encyclopedia was like, what, 26 books, 30 something books. I think it was 32 books or something like that. My mom had the whole collection, and I was not. So if he did, kudos to him, child. Kudos to him. So I'm gonna play some of the clips now. At least the first, because I think I recorded at least almost the first 30 minutes, but I'm gonna speed it up so you guys can listen to it, and then I'm gonna come back with my commentary about the rest of the videos and the input and everything like that. So you guys take a listen to some of the video from Shannon Sharp's show.
On the Black Hollywood, they feel comfortable sitting here lying to you about it.
You gonna set the record straight?
Are you kidding me? You let Ricky Smiley sit here and you said out that mouth, you stole Friday After Next, the one I was in. I wish all of America fumbled a bit when that happened. And then he said some stuff that we haven't heard in 100 years in Hollywood. You ain't say nothing. This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was going to be Money Mike. And Katt Williams was going to be the Santa Claus. Now, three quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was going to play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man? You shouldn't be able, you wouldn't let an athlete that been on steroids talk about one of the greats. Ricky Smiley can't act because Ricky Smiley can't act. He told you the story about when the movie came out. Where did he say he watched it? At home. He wasn't even at the premiere. You telling this man, you stole that. Oh, so he could get his name in the same sentence with a great one. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. Everybody on the scene. Why do you think no cast member has ever said anything?
He could have played that role like you. I thought he was...
Sir, no one... Why no... He was with KD? He beat up Terry Crews? Why nobody know this story? You talking about in Hollywood, they switched off roles. You take this and he... What? So Ricky Smiley knows this. And I don't know why he would lose a child and come on the air and start lying. That's why people believe in rituals right there. It's because, well, why would he lie? I don't know why liars lie. But I can tell you this. We auditioned in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I was audition number 201. 200 black comedians auditioned for the role of Money Mike with me. You're saying all 201 of us was auditioning and you had already had the role and had already shot the role in 4 days? The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom. And that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we talk about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy, right, where I have all the credibility and all the pull. Considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story? 35 members of the cast and crew have never brought up that Ricky Smiley was going to play Money Mike. No one ever saw me put on a Santa Claus suit. We got a wardrobe department. They made a Santa Claus suit for me. Why that wasn't in the bloopers? Why? And here's the other thing. Everything that Money Mike said, Katt Williams wrote. So what Ricky Smiley say on his? You can't say my lines, I wrote them. That's how I already know that I'm going to be funnier than you. What he told everybody was Katt Williams, and don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steve and Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. He was so egregious, not now. Then he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's a believable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
So that's why, because when we released that clip and he said that, you responded because he said he was supposed to play Money Mike and you were supposed to play Santa Claus.
An outright lie.
So,
that he knows is a lie.
So why would he say it?
Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie. And that's why I had to come on the program. Cedric did the same thing. Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. How it don't line up that I did it on TV in 2018? You came to see me at the Comedy Store do it in 2019 and then did it on the Kings of Comedy. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over Cabbie and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there.
Look, I don't know, Katt. We might not let you drink anymore. The way we ain't even got...
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip, less than you. The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He already look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What? He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer. Right. We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
You don't think Sam's a good comedian?
The world doesn't think that, sir. I have 12 comedy specials. He has 4 specials that are not available on Netflix or Tubi.
It seems to me, Katt, that you have a lot to get off your chest.
No.
You want to set the record straight.
Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. I don't say information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
you will tell it.
No, somebody come and tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike. Because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told him to go get the Prowler. I then told him to paint it purple. I told him don't have an actor playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp, Archbishop Magic Don Juan, to play. Like, I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
Why didn't Q set the record straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight. Why none of them set the record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that
But
no
I
one's
didn't know
ever
what
heard. Right, but he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard. Oh, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie, and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. And, like, this is a business.
But that's the thing, Kat. But normally when people give you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time, and they're giving information no one else knows or I've ever heard. So I'm taking them at face value.
This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey was never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It did happen. It did happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Same. That's how a legacy is built. So all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Woo.
You wonder what they did to you?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. Well, I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. Oh. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you got to be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not going to have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym. But you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
To that point, you say...
Right, so he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes, but then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab to help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Katt 30 times, and Katt didn't do... As I stand before you, Shannon, I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was the way that Ricky Smiley kept appearing at all of my auditions is because of Steven saying he would tell anybody that, listen, they got a gang on that side. They know what it is. They know who the gang is. Why Earthquake not in movies? Because he's illiterate. He can't read. And they found that out when they gave him a show and put the cards in front of him. Like, all of these dudes are co-entwined and they share secrets. And this is the age of truth. And the truth doesn't need to be scared of the fact that people tell lies. Katt's on drugs. Where are the stories? Why is there no story of anybody who ever sold a drug to me, did a drug with me, was around me when I was inebriated? I got 5 daughters. I got 5 sons. Why would we tell these ridiculous stories? Because it's competition. You feel like, well, why comedy guys can't just get along?
Yes.
Why didn't you get along with the other teams you were competing against? If you're a Denver Bronco, why you don't get along with the Cowboys? Something wrong with you?
But I don't disagree. I don't
No, stand up, people. We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all. As a journalist. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I don't harbor any resentment to any of these entities because I can't be jealous. I've never seen them have anything that I ever wanted. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and that she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. Period. All of these were both invited. No, so there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happens. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people?
Yes.
It's part of what they give you. Okay? I didn't get it. No, so there was a crossroads where we were both.
Who are some of your favorite young comedians?
I haven't seen a young comedian I don't like. If you name any of the young comedians, I'm aware of all of them, and they're all doing a great job. It doesn't matter if it's Country Wayne or Desi Banks. It doesn't matter if it's Carlos or Chico. It doesn't matter if it's DC or just hilarious. It really doesn't matter once we go to the young part. The young comedians are dealing with things that we never dealt with. And so that gives them more benefits, but it also gives them more chances of failure. So it's not easier for them. So yeah, I'm a big supporter of young comics.
Okay, so now that you guys have seen some of the clips that I had posted from the interview with Shannon, there's some things that kind of like I just feel like that I needed to talk about. So I feel like Shannon Sharp could have he could have went a little bit deeper with some of his questions. Not saying that they were bad questions. They were really good questions, well thought out questions, but I feel like I wanted more. When I was watching the interview, I felt like I wanted more in-depth answers. I wanted more information. He gave enough, but I felt like I wanted more because I was intrigued, honestly intrigued at the story. I was captivated by his story because he's a talker. He was a pimp. I wanted to know more about that. I wanted to know about there was a lot of things that he spoke about that I just wanted more information. And I felt like Shannon Sharp could act more in like follow-up questions, I would say. More in-depth follow-up questions to pull a little bit more out of him. You know, instead of just surface level and funny answers. I wanted to be, you know, heartfelt answers. So that's what I thought too. But I feel like and the reason why I say that we needed more in-depth answers was because this dude said that he was at 13 years old, spending 8 hours in the library, reading books all day, and then he would go steal parts, car parts, and then sell them. And, you know, and I was just like, huh? Okay. And he said he was sleeping in the parks at night and stuff like that. And I wanted, you know, it was just more, I wanted to know about that more. And then he went from selling, he went from reading books in the library for 8 hours and selling car parts to make more money to him being a first-time dad. And I'm just like, what age was this? Like 14? Because he was at the story, and in the story he just transitioned from something that happened when he was 14 years old and until to him being a single dad. And I was just like, where was the transition? Where did that happen? Or maybe they cut it up and we didn't see that part of it. But I wanted to know, what age did he have his first child? Like, how did that transition from him being a 14-year-old committing these acts or doing whatever to him being a single dad? It just didn't mesh or didn't make sense to me. And I wanted to know more, because I was like, what age did he have a kid that he's talking about being a single dad now? But he was just telling us a story about when he was 14 years old. So with that being said, I was just like, okay, Shannon, like, go deeper. I wanted more. Because it didn't make sense to me. He spoke about, I wanted to know more about, he said, okay, so at one point he said that he was translating for his family. You know, they were speaking Creole and French, and he spoke in 7 different languages, and he was running things and running businesses and running farms and stuff like that. And he was like 7 or 8 years old. And I'm just like, I want to know more. Like, it sounded like Katt to me. But then again, I don't know his life. I didn't really do the research on his life growing up or what they had about his biography and stuff like that. But it just didn't sound plausible to me. And I wanted to know more. I wanted to hear more. I wanted Shannon to go a little bit deeper, because I'm just like, to have a kid that's almost running like a business at 7 years old and speaking multiple languages, communicating with his family, because they were missionaries. They were missionaries, him and his family, because they were Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff. So I wanted to know more about that. I just wanted to know more about that. So I felt like Shannon could have went a little bit deeper. He said he was driving at 12. He had got the full scholarship, but then he was explaining how he was sleeping in the parks at night, and he was scared and nervous and stuff like that because he was a 14-year-old, and he was being taken care of by like ladies of the night. And I was just like, wow, that's a story right there. I would like to see the book, because being a 13-year-old, moving thousands of miles away from home, and being taken care of by ladies at night, and then even the truck story that he told, how he got from Ohio to Florida at a truck stop, and it was pretty much like he almost hitchhiked. But I was just like, I don't know if that sounds plausible, because he didn't say he hitchhiked. He said he just got into the guy's, got in the guy's car. He didn't say he was sitting in the car with the truck with the guy or whatever, but it was like him and his dog. And I'm just like, I don't know about that. He asked them, he asked the people how far they was going, and Florida was the closest, so he went. So it was, I just wanted to know more, and I just felt like those questions could have been asked deeper. But he like really went in on Kevin Hart and people stealing. And then I got a clip, I'll show a clip after this segment with Mark Curry and Designing Women and things like of that nature, that they stole their jokes from verbatim. And then I used to watch Designer Women. I'm aging myself. I used to watch Designer Women, and I remember that joke when he told it, and I was just like, oh, he got that from there. But it wasn't my forte, so I didn't really mind too much. I was just like, whatever, that's not my business, it's whatever. But now the clips are resurfacing. I do remember Mark Curry talking about how Steve Harvey almost like stole his identity and stole his jokes and stuff like that a while ago, but nobody really paid it any attention. And then, you know, him saying that Kevin Hart is an industry plant, like this stuff is not it's all alleged, but you got to think about some stuff. Kevin Hart rose to fame super quick. He went from us not knowing him to him doing like a bunch of movies and then doing like just skyrocketing out of nowhere. Last year or the year before last, he gets into a car accident where he was driving, the car flipped, somebody passed, and he left the scene of the crime and nothing happened to him. How weird is that? Like, that's so weird and unheard of and uncommon. So you got to think about these things, that he's like, why is he protected? And then like he's like untouchable, right? You know, but it's all alleged, it's whatever. But it's just things to think about. If you've got to this point in my video, you really got to think about that whole story. And that story went away like super quick, super quick. Things about Steve Harvey, they went away like super quick. And all of these guys are like really good. He even talked about D.L. Hughley, that the fact that D.L. Hughley is a GOAT. He talked about Bernie Mac. And these are comedians that I love. I used to watch a lot of comedy shows growing up because you know, my family liked to crack jokes and stuff, and we used to watch this and listen to that and stuff like that. But we it was a thing. And so he talked about Bernie Mac. He talks about the Kings of Comedy. He talked about the Kings of Comedy. Now I'm really gonna date myself right now. But when he spoke about the Kings of Comedy, he spoke about the fact that Steve Harvey was the headliner for the Kings of Comedy. And you know, the headliner for a comedy show always ends up going last. But Bernie Mac was on it. It was Bernie Mac. I can't remember the 4 people who was on it, but I know I went to see the Kings of Comedy in Madison Square Garden in New York. It was for my birthday. I was dying to go. I went with my ex-husband at the time. And I promise you not, as many years ago that this was, I was set through all of them. We made it on time. I sat through all of them. Bernie Mac killed Kings of Comedy. When I say killed it, he shut it down. The whole stadium, and y'all know how big Madison Square Garden is. The whole stadium was cracking from beginning to end. They was cracking up, and we even wanted an encore of Bernie Mac, and we didn't understand why he didn't close out the show. Because then when Steve Harvey came on, and this is my story, personal experience, when Steve Harvey came on, I even questioned my ex-husband, like, why did he close the show? Bernie Mac should have closed the show, because Bernie Mac was much funnier. I was like, this guy, because at the time, I never really liked Steve Harvey anyway, and I was like, this guy wasn't even really funny. Bernie Mac was so funny in Kings of Comedy, and then when they booted him, when they did Kings of Comedy, the other one, when they booted Bernie Mac, I was like, oh, I'm not going to see it, because Bernie Mac was the funniest. So why would I go see it? And it's not that I don't like the other comedians that were on there, but Bernie Mac ripped it down. Like, Bernie Mac was like such a classic comedian. He was like the old school comedians that I used to love so much. Like, the old school funny comedians. It was, trust me. So I know 100% that story that he told about the Kings of Comedy, I know that was a fact, because I went to the Kings of Comedy. I've watched it firsthand, experienced the fact that Bernie Mac should have closed the show because he was the funnier comedian, and Steve Harvey was not. I was so upset that, like, Bernie Mac's show was sorry, it escapes me. His slot was the funniest. And I remember that to this day. And he was the reason why I wanted to go anyway, because I love Bernie Mac. So that's why I went to the Kings of Comedy. So I know for a fact that and he touched on that, and I know for a fact that that's true, because I've seen it firsthand and I questioned it. And he said, he said, like, they have a clique. You know, he was discussing how the fact that they have a clique, and they all got this light-skinned wife package or whatever, and the women that you never see, and that's how he took shots at Ludacris' wife, and Ludacris came back with a diss track, and I think I put it in there, but it wasn't all that great. And then, you know, a lot of people replied to his interview, which a lot of people should, because he was coming for a lot of their necks, and he was exposing a lot of the truths, and some of the stuff wasn't good, but you got to weed through the muck and know what's what and what's not. And that all comes with experience and age. But Ice Cube even came and responded, and he kind of cleared some stuff up about Friday at the Next, and some of the majority of the stuff that he said kind of validated what Katt William said, and the stuff that wasn't validated, it was minor stuff like him changing the script. But majority, everything else that Katt was saying in his own way, the way he described it, is pretty much the same thing that Ice Cube said. But Katt Williams just described it in his way, and it pretty much coincides. But again, all of this is alleged. Everything in the interview was alleged. Everything that I posted, I mean, you can hear it for yourself. But
Tell me about said thank you.
So what's up with you and Steve, man?
I know. I mean, Steve stole my material on the show, so I had a beef on that.
On what show?
When he was on the talk show he had, and he did all my Halloween material one Halloween. I'm watching that. Somebody called me and said, "Man, homeboy doing your material." So he did my whole Halloween run, and I know he didn't think of it. And this is true stuff that really happened to me. And so my thing is, you don't have to do that, homeboy. Yeah. So you made enough money. You made enough money. You did enough. Why are you on my material? Right. What's that about? And then people want to jump up. No, he didn't know. He didn't steal your. So yes, he did. And so that there's no need to. No one else has did that.
Mm-hmm. So this was on his talk show. Which talk was it? TV talk show?
Yes, TV talk show.
Okay, this was the one he had on NBC just recently.
Whatever. Yeah, the one that he never said thank you.
So what's up with you and Steve?
Damn. Who took his show from him?
Kelly Clarkson.
How can Kelly Clarkson take your show, homie?
Hey, brother.
Damn.
So
you got your show took by Kelly Clarkson?
You know what's crazy? I met my fiance on Steve's show, on Steve Harvey's talk show. So that's another story. But I want to get back to that because I think that is the most new thing a comic can do.
Yeah,
to
me. I step to you.
Right?
I'm gonna step to you.
You ever step to him?
Yeah, I step to him.
What'd you say to him?
Yeah, ask him.
Okay.
Damn. Who took his show from him?
He gonna walk up and introduce himself, John Johnson, man. Everybody around call me Bumdish, though. Everybody around here call me Bumdish. It's fine. You Bumdish. Don't even worry about it. Everybody call me Bumdish. Everybody calls you Bumdish. Yeah, everybody in the whole city call me Bumdish. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. You Bumdish. Don't worry about it. Bumdish is just what everybody call. Yeah, everybody call me that, man. Don't worry about it. I'm like, all right. So all week long, now I tell my Bumdish, what up, boy? Hey, Bumdish, you gonna run, come over here and watch the game? What's going on? Hey, Bumdish, went to the store. Grab some bacon, come on back. My cousin said, what you calling him? Bumdish? He said, everybody call him Bumdish. This is how I really call him that. Like, no, man, it ain't CJ. He said, you can call me by my initials. That's what he said.
The only way that I can answer that question is by telling the Bombinicious story. It's a true story. See, there was this white family that lived in Mississippi, and they had this man who worked for them occasionally named Bombinicious. And he did various small jobs for them on and off for about a week. One night, he had just finished bartending the party, and the lady of the house realized that she didn't have any money. So she said to him, Bombinicious, I want to write you a check, but I don't know how to spell Bombinicious. And he said, well, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. See, when I came to work for you, I told you my name, and then I said, but you can call me by my initials.
Frustration where Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at
You
one point.
were the guy. Yeah. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You fucked off promo shoots. You fucked off your promo fucking trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped fucking with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what, I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. Mm-hmm. So when you say Tiffany Hadish doesn't deserve or isn't really a comedian, and these other women have worked hard, which they have. Shouts out to Melanie Camacho, shouts out to Lunel, shouts out to Leslie Jones, who are all underneath the umbrella of Katt Williams. Katt Williams, have you ever used your platform to fucking bring the people that were under you up? You haven't. So because you haven't, don't shit on those that now are. I've used my platform, and I brought my guys and girls up. The brand of Kevin Hart is a brand that's expanded so far, whether you like me or not. My presence in comedy will forever be felt. I'm a fucking boss.
Katt Williams, your little pussy ass, get on the Sean show and just get your little bitch ass feeling and get away with it. You say all type of shit you ain't supposed to say. See, there's a lot of shit about certain rap niggas I could say, but I know it's some shit that I shouldn't say, so I don't say it. You said some slick shit about me in one of your stand-up, you was being sarcastic saying that the trick daddy go to the restaurant, he could do anything. Like, well, nigga, you good daddy looking ass fuck nigga. Keep my name out your mouth. I'm not no comedian. I'm a street nigga first, okay? Keep my name out your mouth, bitch ass nigga. Keep Ricky Smiley name out your mouth. Keep all OG's name out your mouth. If you don't like a person, you don't say it. I told people I didn't think you was funny. I ain't never said I didn't like you. And I'm glad I didn't never say I didn't like you, because me not thinking you were funny I actually saw you one day, and I was laughing my ass off. I was crying laughing one day. Remember that little boy put your hand out? I was crying fucking laughing that day, nigga. Listen, man, stop talking about other niggas to be relevant in the game and trend. Because you was trending today, and I'm going to be trending tomorrow on your bitch ass. And I'm with whatever you with, nigga. And every nigga, every comedian, everybody who you told a story got more money than me and you. You on my level, bitch ass nigga. Ha ha. The joke on you, bitch ass nigga. You ain't funny. You a fucking joke. Stop making fun of other niggas. Black folk, we have to stop belittling our brothers and sisters to get a platform, to get shares, to get likes, to get views, to trend. We have to stop. Katt William, Katt William.
A few things, everybody been checking out the internet. My man Katt Williams. First of all, I just want to say, we shot that movie over 20 years ago, so, people have different perspectives, and it's been a long time. I also want to say, every comedian that I've worked with, every comedian that I've put in a movie, I only put them in the movie because I thought that was funny. I thought that was perfect for the part. I tried to put them in a position to win. That's what it's all about, I don't, look at from, Chris Tucker and Bernie Mac and Mike Epps, Katt Williams, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Cedric, Kevin Hart. All these guys I know are funny as hell. I didn't discover them. They were doing their stand-up or doing their thing, and I knew that they were great and that they could act, and that if I have an opportunity, I was gonna give them an opportunity. To me, that's what it's all about. As far as specific things, Katt was 100 on a few things. Most of what he was saying, a couple things, I just want to clarify. When we bring in a new, comedian, we do have them try out for different roles. So Ricky did give Money Mike a shot. But when we saw him and, we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, Santa Claus, which was, to me, the perfect casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Katt, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike. Katt, said he wrote his role, which, the role was written, but he enhanced it. This is why Katt was so dope in the movie. Money Mike had a small role, about as big as the Santa Claus role, but when we start filming, he was giving us such magic that we kept expanding his role and giving him more to do because he was on point. When we shoot these movies, for one, the scripts are fire, or they wouldn't even do it. The scripts are laugh out funny. But we shoot the script, but once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians ad-lib, riff, play with the words, do their thing. We give them a take where they can, or 2, 3 takes where they can go off and do what they feel. Sometimes it makes the movie, sometimes it don't. When somebody gives you jewels, you want to try to make sure that makes the movie. So in the movie, there's the second thing I want to clear up. I would never shoot a rape scene in a movie, especially like Friday, where you actually see this happening on camera. That ain't my style. If you check out any of my movies, they're not raunchy. We did a movie called Players Club where the subject matter was a little raunchy, but for the most part, even that, we left it to your imagination. So the only reason that kind of stuff was in the movie is because you have 3 villains in Friday After Next. You have Santa Claus still in presence. You have Damon, just got out of prison, sweating, Craig and Day for the rent money. And then you have Money Mike, a pimp that treats his woman, like a property. So Craig is always fighting the villains in the movie, from the Joker Brothers to Debo. And so we already had Craig fighting Santa Claus. And the only real way to get rid of the other 2 villains was to have them go against each other. And the plier joke was always in the script. It was never, we would never ever show that. That's not my style if you look at any of my movies. So, that was never a discussion. We, at that point in everybody's career, we would listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't gonna change the movie for any actor. We do what we feel, and if it was a rape scene, it would have been in the movie. There was no reason not to shoot it. But that's not my style. I don't even like that kind of shit in movies, on camera. And so, that was, to me, a little discrepancy there. Katt, he wrote a lot of his part because, like I said, he was giving us jewels, so we were keeping the camera rolling. He was coming off the dome. He was coming prepared every day to steal the show. You know, that was his mission. And, you know, that's what he did, you know, with the movie. And it launched his career, you know. And I'm proud of the movie. I'm proud of all the guys who've, you know, come through, you know, Acute Vision Production and went on to do bigger and better things. And look, you know, a lot of people are talking about pay and how much they was paid on these movies that were extremely low budget. You know, most of these guys work a couple of days, you know. And when you're doing a movie, there's over 100 people working on the movie that need to get paid. Most of them got to get paid every day. And there's pre-production and post-production. Even after you finish with the actors, you got to pay editors and sound people. And my movies are all about quality. So most of the money go up on the screen. I'm not giving you no bullshit. I'm not giving you no low budget, you know, shit you can laugh at because it's so cheap. So, you know, we try to put all the money on the screen. And so any actor that's mad at what they got paid, you know, just look at what you was doing. Look at where your career was at the time. You know, take a look at where it is now. And Friday has something to do with that, I believe. And I put a lot of people in movies, but they ain't never put me in a movie. So you can take that for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? I've given a lot of these guys opportunities. And I still act, so I'm waiting for a call. I ain't got to produce everything or write everything. I got love for all the comedians that I've worked with. Got, you know, much love for Katt. You know, he spoke up for me a lot. And I just wanted to be clear and clarify some things. And shit, man. I hope y'all have a good 2024. Yeah, yeah.
You got the best spaghetti. You got the best steak. What you have? As a father of 7 with an unlimited food budget, you can make whatever is necessary. I said, excuse me. I said, what do they like? Just because you're a poor interviewer doesn't mean. I said, you answer the question and just tell me. Man, you're a strong black woman. Is it okay for me to answer? You keep interrupting the answer. Everyone can hear it. It sounds like you like me a little bit. It's starting to bleed over the airway.
It is.
Oh, really? I want to let everybody know that Wanda got some lipstick on right now with enough glitter for the 4th of July. That's right, kissable lips. How many kids you got, Wanda? I have 3 boys. Excellent. Yes, I do. Are boys simple? Are boys simple? They can be. They can be. Wanda knows she did. I'm what? She didn't do as much cooking in the latter years as she did in the beginning. Whatever. I cook. I do it all. I didn't say that she did. Well, that's right. I did it in the beginning and the middle and the end.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Your boys, yeah.
They like for me to, I do a really nice broccoli. They like my broccoli. And they love my baked chicken. Hey, right now, look up your phone and see what it takes to make broccoli. And tell me what it says. He doesn't say heat up water. That's the only step in broccoli, heat up water. Simmer. Have you ever heard of burned broccoli? Can you burn broccoli? You can't burn it because it's made in a pot of water. You know what the second meal they love from it? What I do with corn. I like to dig out that can and I put it in there. I like a can of water and I put it on there. And then I get some Zatarain's. They don't expect that. I sprinkle Zatarain's on my great cook. Yes, ma'am. You good at heating stuff up. You're good at telling us about what's going on in jail. Yes, ma'am. Ain't getting out to tell you. But I'm going to tell you at an arena named Phillips, and you're going to tell me at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. Right, true. Tomorrow, be there. All right. Red Grant show. I know I'll be there. Don't miss it. Red Grant, Katt Williams, thank y'all for coming. And thank you for having me. Thank you for coming in. I see why people come to Wanda's show. Yeah. Because Frank Ski puts it down. That's right. Crazy ass. Is he crazy? And Harvey, get to the salon. All right, it's the People Station Bureau 3. Your hair is kind of... My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm. You don't? Oops. Oh, that's not a perm. No, it is not. Nice lady. Come run one of your gnarled fingers here. While you on air. So they can hear you live. Come on, let me come over here. No. That's not how that works. Oh, okay. Well, they're proud of like that.
That's right. They don't have to. They don't want them to. Hell out of here. You okay?
Only one of our hairs moving while we talking.
Are you all right? Are you okay?
Red Grant, Atlanta Comedy.
Tell Wanda to take off their headphones and that wig.
And make sure
that wig and that headphones come together.
Old ass clothes you got on. How about that? Yeah, they're old.
Versace, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
She said, I want to apologize to the people at Versace Collection. This is your 2019 summer line that hasn't come out.
But you had to open it up and show us it was Versace. I wanted to.
No, I didn't have to open it up. These people are on radio. They can't see anything.
Yeah, but you opened it up so we could see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, happy.
And happy whatever stories for the Black Lane Bryant.
That's right. Very proud.
Okay, let's play some music real quick if we can. We going to a break real quick? All right, so we go to a break.
Shout out to Forever 21.
Yeah, collection. That's right. Shout out.
You don't remember me for wilding out, right? I'm not the right one to Jones.
Get this inmate out here.
If you can't get your blood pressure down, you can't call me down. If your cholesterol is 600.
Whatever, little mama.
I'm little mama's baby daddy.
No, you little mama.
Yes, ma'am. And what are you, girl? You probably shouldn't talk about sizes.
Oh, that's okay.
You're big on the radio.
That's right. And you're big
Turn
in
it down.
prison. And you're
Yes,
big in
ma'am.
prison.
I've never been to prison.
You have
19
several
felonies, no
times.
convictions.
Yeah,
Knock it
yeah.
off. Prison and jail aren't the same. No.
Calm
No.
down.
Only one of us has $12 worth of jewelry on. No.
No, $12.
That all is available. If you want to have Wanda's jewelry, please go to Citgo or Quick Trip at any point. If you buy 2 packs of Newport 100s, they will give you everything Wanda has on right now for $7.99, and it comes with a free car wash. Won't you come on down?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
The show starts at 9. Wanda gets to the stage at 9:17. Please come on down.
Please don't get me fat and do it.
She's almost out of breath. Be careful now. Even on the radio, you can hear the fact that exercise has crept into her vocabulary.
Hurry up, little mama. We're done.
You already used that one. Don't repeat your joke.
Okay, well, then you have to.
Remember that one time Katt Williams destroyed that one lady's radio career? When he roasted her about that broccoli? I got a story for y'all. I got the tea on the whole situation. Because I was a comic in Atlanta before I moved up to New York, and I did a show with that lady. Her name is Wanda Smith. Now, she booked a whole bunch of comics to do a show at 2 p.m. that was supposed to be live streamed, and 6 people showed up, and they were all construction workers on break, right? There was a panel of judges, including her. Everybody gets up to do their bits, right? In between everybody telling jokes, they were supposed to give people feedback on their jokes, but rather than doing it when the comics got off stage, they would do it in the middle of their sentences, in the middle of their jokes, but not just anybody would do it, just her. Everybody else was being like cordial, waiting, whatever, just her. So it got to a point where I was later on in the lineup. I started talking fast during my set so she couldn't cut me off. It got that bad, right? After the show, all the comics are talking about the experience, and one of my comedian friends, Dwayne, had this story about when he called the radio station and he asked for advice into getting into stand-up comedy because she is a comedian, right? And she sat on the phone with him for 15 minutes and gave him advice. And then he was like, wow, what a really lovely conversation. What a very nice lady. Hung up the phone, right? 15 minutes later, all of his friends called. They're like, yo, I can't believe she would do that to you. Oh my God, why would she do that to you? That's so messed up. And he was like, what? We had a good conversation. What happened? Apparently, when the clip got played on the radio, it got altered and edited to him going, hey, do you have any advice on being a stand-up comedian? And she goes, quit now, and hangs up the phone. And that is what got played on the radio. Yeah. So he had beef with her, but he was on that show with me. Then I got beef with her for cutting everybody off. And then she blamed us for not packing out an audience at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday during a work week when everyone's busy in Atlanta and the club isn't even in the middle of the city, and that only 6 construction workers showed up. She blamed it on us. So when Katt Williams got on the radio later that year and wrecked her, we were like, she deserves every bit of this. And we have not heard from her since. And I'm okay with that.
But thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys as always for stopping by. You know, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I love you guys. And I just want to give a disclaimer. All of these videos that I post is my opinion. And my opinion, because I'm noticing that I'm starting to get these weird comments, and I'm just like, at the end of the day, your opinion is your opinion, my opinion is my opinion, and we're each entitled to it, and I respect everybody's opinion, just like I would expect you guys to respect mine. So I thank you guys for coming. I thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.